Hey everyone, my name is Wes, and welcome back to another episode of Terror Talk where I discuss creepy clips online. I created this original horror music to add to the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to leave your own comments, and when you're done watching, check the description if you'd like to listen to my music without the commentary. Now let's get into it and have some fun.
One night, my girlfriend Rebecca and I decided it would be fun to go bowling. We drove to the closest bowling alley and went through the whole process of renting shoes, finding balls, and picking a lane. We both were really bad. Neither of us had been bowling in many years. We paid for an hour of bowling. Rebecca wasn't really enjoying it too much because she kept getting gutter balls. I was doing better than her, but not by much.
Are you good at bowling? I feel like I can bowl a decent game, but I'm definitely nowhere near good enough to compete with anyone that's really good. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you're a good bowler.
So I wasn't really able to help her out much. And then to make matters even worse, Rebecca's ex-boyfriend arrived with his group of friends and they started bowling a few lanes down from us. Rebecca looked away, refusing to even look in that direction, whispering at me that we need to leave now. We packed it up early and left. She went to the car and waited while I returned the shoes. I think her ex spotted me while I was at the front counter, and I looked away. I didn't tell Rebecca this, though. We went home and agreed to play Wii bowling instead and have some wine. That sounded much more fun anyway. When we got home, the first thing I did was turn on the Wii and open a bottle of wine.
You know, sometimes just hanging out with someone at home, just doing something fun like playing games or watching a movie or just talking, you know, sometimes all you need is something simple like that to have a good time. Don't you agree?
The bowling alley trip was a failure, but I didn't want Rebecca to be unhappy. We played Wii bowling for like half an hour with music on in the background and drinking wine. It turned out to be much more fun than the bowling alley, until the current song that was playing ended and we heard something come from upstairs in that brief moment of silence. Rebecca and I looked at each other, telling me she heard it too. I turned off the music for good, but now there was just silence. The sound we heard could best be described as a heavy object being dropped on the floor. I went upstairs to investigate. I checked every bedroom with the lights on. I checked under every bed. I was relieved to find nothing. I wasn't actually expecting to find someone in the house, but naturally, you do need to go investigate if you hear a suspicious sound in your house.
And yeah, I do agree with that. It is always good to investigate, but then again, if you always keep the doors and windows locked, like, you know, there really shouldn't be that much of a problem. But I have had to go at certain times when I hear strange things to go and search every room and closet of the house, and I gotta say, it is unnerving when you think that someone might be there that shouldn't be there. And that moment that you open up a closet and you think that there's gonna be some creepy person standing there, like some creepy homeless person or something, it is exceedingly unnerving, and your heart is pounding really fast, and you feel the pulse in your wrist or your neck, and it's just going super fast. It is super unnerving, in my opinion, having to do that kind of thing.
Still, I wondered what actually made the sound because I didn't find anything on the floor. After maybe another half an hour of playing Wii bowling, we brought our little wine party upstairs to the bedroom, and eventually we fell asleep. Rebecca's a lightweight, so she got much drunker than me, which explains why I was the one to wake up in the middle of the night and not her. I heard what woke me up though. It was another clear and distinct sound of something heavy being dropped from above. But the only thing is, now we were upstairs, and yet the sound still came from above. So what else would be above us? The attic. The attic door is right outside my bedroom door. It's one of those doors with a string that you pull down and a metal ladder comes down. I tiptoed out of the bedroom to not wake up Rebecca. I stood under the attic door and listened. Every 5 seconds or so, I heard the slightest creaking sound, like from the weight of something moving around. I didn't want to scare Rebecca, but I'd heard of animals getting into people's attics sometimes. I went to get a broom from the closet to use as a possible weapon if I were to have to fend off an animal. Then I quietly pulled the attic door open and climbed up. I stopped at the top of the ladder in the darkness and listened. I heard creaking. It was the creaking of the wooden rocking chair we had up there. I used my phone as a light to reveal the rocking chair. There was someone sitting in it, slowly rocking. I nearly fell off the ladder.
Oh man. Just imagine going up to your attic and hearing a creaking sound and looking in, and there's some random person there sitting on a rocking chair rocking back and forth. I feel like that would just be like so terrifying. And I know that there are a lot of scary things out there like ghosts or aliens or whatever, but I feel like one of the scariest things are home intruders, because those are the most realistic of everything else out there. And while I do believe in ghosts and aliens and stuff like that for sure, you know, the chances of encountering one of those are way less likely than an actual home intruder. So I feel like a home intruder is one of the scariest things that you can ever encounter.
I wanted to go run back to Rebecca and hide. I wanted to do anything but approach this person. But I gathered the courage to yell, "Who are you?" The rocking stopped, and the man turned around to look at me. He started making this animalistic, gargling, growling sound. Then he got up, and that's when I hurried down the ladder and pushed the attic door up. I screamed for Rebecca to call the cops until I heard her acknowledge me. I stayed under the attic door, preventing it from being opened as the man in the attic tried kicking the door open. He eventually stopped, and I heard the deranged laughter of a sick, mentally ill person. He spoke in another language. It sounded Russian. I felt like my arms were going to fall off, holding up the attic door, waiting for the police. When they finally arrived, Rebecca went downstairs to let them in. From here, it was the job of the police officers to go up there and remove the man. Rebecca and I waited in the living room, sitting on the couch next to each other, until we saw them bringing the man out through the living room to the front door in handcuffs. The way the man looked at me said everything. He was a dangerous, mentally ill person. His stare was full of hatred and craziness, with a hint of confusion. His lip contorted in this bizarre way that would almost make you think he were drunk. Whatever happened with him, we don't know. We didn't press civil charges, but I'm sure he was charged criminally if they didn't deem him to be insane. This happened in the summertime when we keep the windows open, and so it was most likely that he squeezed through one of the windows in the backyard. I'm not sure why he picked our house. We may just have been the unlucky house he stumbled across.
Yeah, so this was definitely a creepy story, and I thought it was really brave of her to hold the door like that. Would you have done the same thing? Because I feel like most people would have run away at this point. And I feel like they would have run away, and that stranger would have gone and potentially really hurt them or even killed them. So it was really smart of her to actually hold the door. And I don't know how many people would have actually held the door like that. I might be wrong in thinking that most people would run away just like terrified and not even thinking straight. But yeah, this is why it's so important to have all your doors and windows locked pretty much all the time. And even if you do live in a safe neighborhood, don't take that for granted, because there's always something that could happen. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed my commentary, and I will see you in the next one.